You open your eyes for the first time on Fenris, a world of eternal winter, where the cold neither comes nor goes, but simply exists. It is now the late 41st millennium. But for you, that means nothing yet. You know nothing of the galaxy, nor of distant stars, nor of the Emperor whose name will one day become your prayer. All of that still lies ahead of you. For now, you were born into the tribe of the Iron Wolves in a small village on the shore of the frozen sea. Your father is a warrior and your mother, unfortunately, did not survive your birth. Your father raises you and teaches you the art of war from childhood. Since the age of 6, you have held an axe in your hand, learning to stand up for yourself and survive amid the endless tribal wars. This is necessary if you want to extend your life by at least a couple of years. By the age of 15, you are still a teenager, but you are already a warrior. Scars cover your arms, and you hone your skills during raids on neighboring tribes. Your father is proud of you because you are a good warrior. Not the best, of course, but you strive to become one. But everything changes when war comes again. The tribe of the Blood Bears comes from the north. About 200 warriors are hunting your village and its winter food supplies. In contrast, you have only 70 warriors. Surrendering simply makes no sense. Without supplies and a roof over your head, you won't survive the winter, so battle is inevitable. You meet them on the frozen shore, where your chieftain, Einar the One-Armed, shouts a battle cry, and you answer him. Your axes are raised and the lines converge. You fight like a beast. Your axe finds enemy after enemy. The snow turns red, and seeing your fury, it turns yellow at your enemy's feet. But unfortunately for you, there are too many of them. They overwhelm you with numbers, and the warriors of your tribe fall one after another. Suddenly, a spear pierces your side from behind and you fall to your knees. A warrior of the Blood Bears stands over you. He raises his axe for the finishing blow, but you do not fear death. That's how your father taught you, and you only laugh in the face of your enemy, showing not a trace of fear. In this moment of your final thoughts, as you remember your father, the axe comes down and darkness falls. Well, that's all. Thank you all for watching. Honestly, I think the main character was actually lucky to leave this mortal world of Warhammer at such a young age. After all, there are things in this lore far worse than death. Of course, you didn't actually die, so congratulations on that, at least in part. When you open your eyes, you don't see the familiar grey sky of Fenris, but something metallic and unfamiliar to you. However, your view is blocked by a massive figure in a skull mask and armor adorned with fur and runes. He leans over you and praises you for the fight. You fought well, Pup, that's a good sign. The stranger reminded you of the battle and your wound, but as you examine the injury in your side, you realize that, for some reason, it has stopped hurting. This is strange, but you are more interested in where you are and who this stranger is. You hear the giant chuckle and continue speaking. He tells you that a certain chooser of the fallen has found you worthy, and you, Pup, have been given a chance to become more than mortal, to become a space wolf. But you don't understand even half of his words and once again lose consciousness. Meanwhile, the Thunderhawk, that's the name of this iron bird carrying you above the clouds, makes its way to Kike. It is a massive mountain fortress carved into the rock, the home of the Space Wolves. The God's Longship, as your tribesmen call these aircraft, lands at the very moment you regain consciousness and you are led outside. Along with you, there are other chosen ones here, about 20 people. They are all young men from different tribes, all wounded just like you, and all chosen on the battlefield. There is no ceremony with you. You are immediately led to a hall deep within the heart of the Quika. Passing stone walls covered in ancient runes, you find yourself in a large room. In the center stands an altar with a skull, and around it are huge men in black armor, looking just like the one who spoke to you on the plain. They are adorned with bones and fur, and their heads are covered with skulls. These are the Wolf Priests. A Wolf Priest, to put it simply, is at once a doctor, a priest, and a mentor all in one person. They are the ones who create new Space Wolves and decide who is worthy of this honor. One of them offers you a chalice. He explains that this is the cup of the Wolfen, which contains the Canis Helix, the genetic seed of Leman Russ, the Primarch of the Space Wolves. He lifts it up, and you see inside a red liquid that smells of iron and something wild and primal. It will change you, make you stronger, faster, and better, says the priest. But what he doesn't say is that some of you will not survive the transformation. There is a risk that your body might simply reject the gift, and you will turn into Wolfen, beasts in human skin. And their fate, well, let's just say, is different. They only explain to you that you must survive and keep your sanity, and only then can you become a Space Wolf. Completely clueless about what Space Wolves are, what Canis Helix is, or what's even going on, you decide to obey. Besides, you don't really have much choice when you're facing 2-meter tall guys. And while you were slowly coming to terms with what was happening, the wolf priest hands the skull to the first chosen one. He drinks and his eyes widen. He falls to his knees, grabs his stomach and convulses. Then the next one drinks and then the next. Some collapse immediately while others start screaming. And now it's your turn. You drink it to the last drop and the liquid burns your lips. The taste of blood and fire. Your body explodes with pain. Well then, your first trial begins. The trial of Morkai. You are taken back onto the longship, where you are stripped naked and thrown into the snowy tundra of Asaheim without food, water, or weapons. Only the icy wind and the endless white wasteland. And while you writhe in pain, they explain your task, to make your way back to the Kike. Meanwhile, your body burns from within. You feel your bones breaking and your muscles tearing. Something inside you is being rearranged at the cellular level. You scream and howl and cannot stop. But that's not the strangest part. Voices begin to appear in your head. Not your own, but animalistic and wild. At first it whispers something unintelligible, and then it starts to roar at the top of its lungs. It wants you to get down on all fours, to forget speech and forget your name, to become a true beast. Realizing your precarious situation, you try to stand up, but your legs no longer obey you, and your arms bend at unnatural angles. The beast begins to take over your mind more and more, but you remember your father, who taught you to be strong and never give up, even in the hardest times. You stand up, swaying while your bones crunch and snap back into place. The pain is unbearable, but you take a step. That's how you start walking, just like some of the chosen ones under the screams of others who were left behind. Hours pass, or maybe days. Time has lost all meaning, and you can't remember whether you overtook the other chosen ones or if they went ahead. But the main thing is that you keep moving. You focus all your concentration on this alone. On the bright side, you no longer feel the cold. Even though you're naked, your body feels as if it's burning from the inside. The only thing you feel is hunger, a wild animalistic hunger that gnaws at your insides. And at that moment, you instinctively notice movement. It's a Finrayasian hair, and your body reacts before your mind does. You lunge and catch it. Finally food, you think. But in reality, that was the voice of the beast. You stop and realize that you're on all fours, that you were growling as you chased it. Fear cuts through the fog. You almost lost yourself. You focus again and get back on your feet. With difficulty, you continue on two legs like a human. The second day comes, and you are lucky enough to encounter other chosen ones like wolves. They run on all fours, howl. Their eyes have turned yellow and empty. These are the Wolfen, those who failed the trial. Noticing your presence, they immediately attack you. You have to defend yourself, and the beast within you wants to break free. But because of what happened, you suppress it. You grab a stone and start fighting like an ordinary human. Your strength has increased, and a single blow with the stone was enough to knock out one of their teeth. And they realized they couldn't handle you. They retreat, fleeing into the blizzard while you continue on your way. On the third day, at last you see the Fang on the horizon. A massive shadow seeps through the snow. You have almost no strength left, and the beast inside roars, demanding control. But you're close, and hope keeps you from giving up. For the last few meters, you crawl, not on all fours, but on your knees and elbows. Barely crawling, you collapse at the gates, completely exhausted. The massive doors open, and you are greeted by the Astartes of the Space Wolves. Out of 20, only 8 returned. The rest either died from the transformation or became beasts in the snow. With your last ounce of strength, overjoyed, you enter the inner courtyard, where you are led into a stone circle. It certainly doesn't look like bed or rest, and you are right. The wolf priest announces the next test. Home gang. Sacred bare-handed fights without rules. Except one, fight as long as you can stand. At this moment, another survivor approaches you. Unfortunately for you, he is bigger and seemingly even stronger. Scars cover his chest, and most likely, he is a warrior from the northern tribes. The wolf priests announce the start, watching and judging, but they are not looking for victory. They seek the wolf's fury, the sacred madness that makes the space wolves invincible in battle. The fight begins. He strikes first, and his fist lands in your stomach. The air is knocked out of your lungs, and you fall as he leaps on top of you. You dodge, and his knee slams into the stone. Taking advantage of this moment, you hit him, and something inside you awakens. An instinct, the very beast you suppressed in the snows, but now you are no longer afraid of it. You growl like a beast and lunge, biting, punching, scratching, using everything you have. In your mind, only the desire to win and survive remains. When the rage subsides, you are standing over him. He is breathing but not moving. Out of 8, only 5 passed the trial. And if you thought you had completed all the trials, I'm afraid I have to disappoint you. The next thing awaiting you is the ritual of the Gates of Morkai, a psychological and spiritual ordeal. Beaten, naked, and half-mad with voices in your head, you are led into the Hall of Ancestors, deep within the cave beneath the Fang. There you meet the Rune Priest. Another giant, but different from the other priests you have encountered. His armor is storm-colored and covered in glowing runes, just like his blue eyes that seem to look right through you. He says he knows you because, as it turns out, he was the one who chose you while you were fighting for the village. Using his abilities, he watched the battle through the eyes of a raven that flew above the fight. The Rune Priest is a Psyker, a sorcerer in the world of Warhammer, possessing paranormal abilities capable of opening rifts in dimensions and unleashing lightning that flies at enemies. In short, they can do a lot of things. He is the one who gives you another bitter liquid to drink from a horn. It's a mixture of Canis Helix and powerful psychoactive poisons. They do this so that you can fully conquer the beast within, since you are currently in an unstable state. After drinking the potion, the world starts to blur. You enter a dream where you see a huge wolf with ash-colored fur. He looks at you with yellow eyes and starts telling you that you are weak and unworthy of his power. But after everything you've been through, there's not a trace of cowardice left. And that's when you boldly answer him no. The wolf, hearing such audacity, attacks you. He is strong and defeats you immediately. You die but rise again hundreds of times, something similar to Dark Souls. The battle probably lasts for hours, days, or even years. Time has lost all meaning again. Finally, at some point, the wolf stops. He acknowledges your efforts and agrees to become your spirit. When you wake up, it turns out that only 3 days have passed, and you are lying in a pool of sweat and blood. But you are alive. The Rune Priest smiles, congratulates you, and tells you that your totem is the Grey Wolf, stubborn and resilient, possessing an unstoppable rage. Among the others, only one does not wake up. The totem spirit deemed him unworthy. Out of 5, only 4 remain. You survived the chalice. You passed the Morkai, you completed the ritual of the Gates of Morkai. But you are still a pup, and to rise to the next level, you need to go through several stages, namely several surgical procedures. In the coming years, you will undergo constant operations, but they won't turn you into Michael Bieber. They will turn you into an Astartes, and the Wolf Priests will help you with that. Let me remind you, they are not just surgeons, they are priests and warriors at the same time. They will pray while implanting organs into you and sing sagas when you wake up. Well then, let's get started. You will be enhanced with 19 organs, and the first of them is the secondary heart. Without it, all the other operations are simply impossible. Gradually, you will become a giant over 2 meters tall, and without a second heart, your body simply wouldn't cope. It also gives you great endurance. And of course, the backup heart will become the main one if the first one suddenly fails. Next is the Asmadula. It is implanted into the brain to strengthen your bones, which will have to support a 2-meter tall giant. And in fact, because of them, you will start to grow in size. Then they implant the Biscopia in you, a hormonal muscle stimulator. It is this that will turn you into a bodybuilder's dream. Usually, all the aforementioned organs were implanted right at the first stage of the operation, since they form the foundation for the subsequent organs. While you're getting used to your new self, you will be training until the second stage of the operation arrives, namely blood and sleep. This is when they implant the hemostamen, which makes your blood more efficient, allowing it to carry more oxygen and nutrients. The Laraman organ, which produces cells that help blood clot instantly, as well as the catalytic node implanted in your brain, allows you to sleep with half your brain while staying awake for weeks. While one hemisphere sleeps, the other controls the body. Very convenient, by the way. Next comes the third phase, where the surgeries include enhancements for consumption, such as the Priomnor, a second stomach that helps neutralize poisons, and inedible food. A very important one for the space wolves is the Omophageia, which allows them to gain the memories of creatures by eating their flesh or drinking their blood. There's also a third lung, which allows you to breathe underwater, in poisonous fog, and even in a vacuum, though only for a short time. The next organs are aimed at your senses and protection. This is the oculobe. With its help, your vision will become many times sharper. Leman's ear, which gives you the ability to control everything you hear, allowing you to distinguish the sound of a snowflake falling in a blizzard. The Ansus membrane, which helps you enter a state of suspended animation when critically wounded, though this doesn't work for the wolves since your gene seed is too aggressive and you won't be able to just pretend to fall to the ground. Then there's the melanochrome, which changes your skin color to protect against radiation. The aeolytic kidney is a super blood filter that allows you to survive massive poisoning. The neuroglottis is a cool thing that helps you determine the chemical composition of something just by tasting or even smelling it. The mucranoid, which normally secretes an oily sweat that protects against vacuum and extreme temperatures. But for the wolves, this usually doesn't work, since they rely on their fur and natural resistance to the cold of Fenris. The Becher's gland, which allows you to spit acid that can burn through metal. But instead, the wolves grow elongated fangs. This is the curse of the Canis helix. And finally, the last two organs. These are the progenoids. They collect genetic material, which will be extracted after your death to create new space wolves. And the black carapace, a black membrane beneath the skin of the chest and back. It is into this that ports will be implanted for connecting to power armor. Your final gift, 19 organs, each one a chance not to wake up. But the Canis helix, which already flows in your blood, helps you accept the implants better and faster. But all of this comes at a price. The gene seed of Russ is unstable, and with each organ, the beast within grows stronger. As I said before, you will grow fangs, hair will cover your body, and your nails will turn into claws. But you will not become a wolfen, though you will feel it deep in your mind, waiting and hungry. And between the surgeries, there will be training, not in sterile holes like the Ultramarines, but on Fenris, in snowy mountains and real hunts. You will be taught to kill Fenrisian beasts, ice trolls, krakens, and dragons that inhabit this planet. Real monsters, the kind you were lucky enough not to have encountered before. You will also be taught the sagas, ancient stories about heroes, about Leman Russ, who challenged the Allfather himself, about how he outdrank and outate a god. Before that god struck him down with a single blow of his fist. As for weapons, you will be trained to use chainswords and bolt pistols. Please do not confuse it with a bolter. A bolt pistol has a shorter range, and that's justified by the fact that, as a young pup, the gene seed of Varus is raging within you. Standing and shooting from afar would be torture for you. No one intends to waste such potential or put you through such torment. You'll be calmly sent into close combat so that all that wild energy can be burned out of you as quickly as possible. Hypnomats also assist you in your training. After all, you remember that the only thing you knew about science was which side of the axe was sharp. Hypnomats are devices for accelerated learning and psychological conditioning during sleep or in a trance state. Thanks to them, you will learn to read and speak in High Gothic, the common language of the Imperium. They will also strengthen your loyalty to the Emperor and Leman Russ, set up mental barriers against enemy psychers, and thanks to them, you will learn to use other types of weapons. This is how you will learn what is happening in space right now, that your Emperor is bound to the Golden Throne, and that humanity is waging wars against various alien beings. And between trainings, there will be feasts. In the Great Hall of the Fang, the Space Wolves gather and drink Fenrisian ale from horns, which deactivate the kidneys and allow an Astartes to get drunk. And they eat roasted meat and sing sagas. And of course, they fight in friendly bouts. But this isn't debauchery, it's tradition. You learn to love your pack brothers, not just to respect them, but to love them so much that you would die for them without hesitation. By the age of 20, the transformation is complete. When you've undergone the surgeries, you're no longer just a member of the tribe. You stand 2.5 meters tall and weigh almost 300 kilograms of pure muscle. You can run with the speed of a predator, and you can fight for weeks without sleep. Your blood clots instantly and your bones are stronger than steel. And then comes the day when you are given your power armor. A sacred ritual. An Iron Priest, a Legion's tech marine, leads you, the armory halls where hundreds of suits of armor hang. Grey, adorned with runes, wolf pelts, bones, and trophies from 1,000 battles. And you are asked to choose. You walk between the rows. Each suit of armor holds a saga. This set was worn by Sven Bloodfang, who fell defending Armageddon from the orcs. This one, Eric One-Handed, who kept fighting even after a tank crushed his arm. But you stop in front of one, grey with red runes on the pauldrons and a wolf pelt draped over one shoulder. Scratches and dents cover the plates. These are the marks of 1,000 battles. You realize this is your armor, and you choose it. This is the armor of Thorvald Iontooth, the demon hunter who died protecting his brothers from the Prince of Chaos. A worthy choice, in fact. They help you put it on. The servos connect to the ports in your spine and the black carapace links with the armor. But that's not all. The Iron Priest hands you a bone, a wolf fang of Wulfin, preserved from the time when you fought the voices of the beast in the snows of Morki. He fastens the fang to your shoulder pad, and now this armor is truly yours. Next comes the weapon, and here there is no choice. You are also given a chainsword and a bolt pistol. For the first time in your life, you feel complete, ready for the hunt. Now you are a Bloodclaw. You are 21 years old when your first combat order arrives. Orcs have invaded the Talosar system. Green-skinned barbarians who live only for war. There are millions of them, and they have captured 3 planets. The Rune Priest of the Great Company received a vision. Blood on the snow, wolves tearing apart beasts. Jarl Ragnar Steelmane made a decision. His company is going to war. 100 space wolves, and you are among them. The drop pod crashes onto the planet like a meteorite. The impact with the ground is so powerful that an ordinary person would be vaporized, but you simply kick open the door and step out. Beholding hell, orcs are everywhere. Green brutes taller than you, covered in muscles and scars. They shout war cries and fire crudely made weapons. Your bolt pistol barks, explosive rounds finding their targets. The beast within sings. This is its element. You roar a wolfish battle cry, and your brothers answer. The pack hunts together. The battle rages for hours. When it is over, you stand among mountains of orcs. You are alive and you have won. This is your first battle, but not your last. Decades pass in endless war. You fight on 1,000 worlds against orcs, tyrannids, necrons, chaos cultists, dark eldar, enemies who seek to destroy humanity. You earn honors. First, you become a Grey Hunter, and later, after many years, a Long Fang, a veteran. Your hair has already turned grey and your fangs have grown longer. That's where the name comes from. In a place where most die young, veterans accordingly are worthy of respect. You are transferred to the Wolf Guard, the elite of the Legion, the personal guard of the Great Wolf, the leader of the entire chapter, the best of the best, veterans of millennia-long campaigns. You fight side by side with legends, with those who have seen Leman Russ himself, with those whose names are inscribed in the great saga of Fenris. Did you believe it? In reality, your story ended on your very first mission against the orcs. A stray bullet pierced your power armor. The end.